What's happening, Big K.A.? We back in this thing. K. Too good as sleep with a cut apple turn. You know the big dog, he want a time. We here to talk. So more news from the Joe Budden podcast. So honestly, we got more culture vulture shit. I'm just gonna say it. I know niggas don't have that conversation. Now, Tommy Richman kind of cleaned it up. If you don't know, he's the dude that's like, $1 million baby, her baby. That little bullshit he sang, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, basically, the Joe Budden podcast reacts to Tommy Richman saying he is not a hip-hop artist. Hey, big dog, we wasn't asking for you. You can go. Honestly. Listen, like Joe Budden was saying about DDG, I might say this about Tommy Richman. This might be the first and the last time I discuss your buffoonery on this channel. And I said might. Joe Budden said this is the first and last. I said might. Now, I don't hate Tommy Richman. I think he's a talented man. I just hate when artists come out, they get in, their genre is kind of has some hip-hop like ties to it. They do their thing, they're doing whatever they do. Perfectly fine, I ain't hating, I ain't mad at y'all. But then you come out and say you're not hip-hop. That's what happened with Post Malone. When he was sitting here saying, what I was on, yeah, you know I'm ballin' out with y'all. When he was doing all that, and a motherfucker was coming out like, yo, I'm not hip-hop. It's like, big dog, you over there with grills in your mouth, got a headband over your head, saying you the White Allen Iverson, and trying to dance like, I'm so sin on you. You was doing all that, big dog. You hip-hop, bro. Do you hear your song? I ain't gonna lie. Post Malone got some albums. I'm gonna go back and listen to some of them early albums. Post Malone got some albums. He got some songs. I ain't gonna lie to you. But anyways. So we get another dude, Tommy Richman, who is Caucasian, and he's saying this nonsense. He cleaned it up better than Post, and he hasn't said the N-word yet like Post, so we still kind of rock with him. But still, it's one of those, I don't know why. Like, listen, there's growth. I understand people wanting to do genre bending. We see it a lot of the time. Like, Drake has a house album. Beyonce be doing country music. That's perfectly fine. You can be in other genres and make music. If a country artist really wanted to come into hip-hop and make a hip-hop album, I would not be mad. I'm like, hey, gang, as long as you're respectful, who give a fuck? Respectful, you doing your thing and you taking your craft seriously, it is what it is. But when we get comments like this, it feels like you're not taking your craft seriously and you're not respecting the genre you started in. That's why people call Post Malone a culture vulture and say he's not part of the culture. It's not that we don't like him. It's not that he doesn't make fantastic music. It's just you were over here saying certain things like you don't give a F about hip-hop when you clearly made your career or your career started out in the genre. How can you disrespect it? It's good. You might not understand everything we do with it, what it is, but come on now. Anyways, we wonder what hot take they landed on. So the Joe Budden podcast recently debated on Tommy Richman's viral claim. By the way, I don't agree with everything Joe and them say, but like I do see some points what I said in the beginning. Viral claim about not being a hip-hop artist. If you didn't hear about the debacle, catch up here. I'm not going to call him a culture vulture, the host began, because he's worked hard. He has music he's been working on for a long time. Ish said about the Tommy Richman not being a hip-hop artist before. He and Joe Budden talked about how they didn't like $1 Million. It was cool. It's not my favorite song, but it was cool. Pretty much. The group then felt like Richman should have just said his response to DJ Head outright instead of simply tweeting out that he's not a hip-hop artist, given how volatile and reactive social media reactions can be. You've been busting your ass to break through, Joe Budden remarked about Tommy Richman. Didn't do it for whatever reason, and then you got $1 Million Baby, and then black people, and then TikTok, then culture pushed you to where you needed to be. Now it is not the right time for I'm not a hip-hop artist. I have no problem with I'm not a hip-hop artist or I'm much more than a hip-hop artist. Yeah. Why are you even tweeting? You got the easiest job in the world. Tommy Richman, shut the F up. Which I do agree. He should have just said I'm more than a hip-hop artist. Now, the way Joe Budden comes out sometimes, you can see like a little bit of vitriol on his voice. I get that. Or maybe he just says it very blunt and people don't like that. But I do agree with what he's saying, because honestly, he could have just said, I'm more than a hip hop artist. I do this, this, that, and this. And no nigga would have a problem with it. And bro, you've been busting your ass. You came up in this genre. What do you mean you're not a hip hop artist? You're not just a hip hop artist. Yes. But don't disrespect, big dog. Like, this way you started out. Don't disrespect. You got your break from here. Remember where you came from. And that's what it is. I don't give a fuck what genre you go to next. But remember where you came from. Remember where you found your success. It was her. Even with Post Malone, even though he has a country album at this moment, I'm telling you, majority of his fans who have followed with him and stayed with him to this point are from where hip hop. That's why I don't want a motherfucker like that or a person like Tommy Richman to disrespect hip hop. This is where you made your bread and butter. Don't disrespect the genre that got you there. That make no damn sense. You and that group of people that can receive your success and never have to talk about black people, Joe Budden continued. But when the first time you speaks to the years of, because I don't think there's nothing wrong with what he said. I don't look at him as a hip hop artist either. N-word, you do not have to say that. But you saying it when hip hop is who has broken you and accepted you, it gives us remnants of all the other white acts who their barrier of entry is hip hop and they abandoned it. And they throw shade at it to the other side, and then they start doing country/folk music and act like it never happened. Post Malone. I love Post Malone, but yeah, he was saying some bullshit. As much as I love Post Malone, Tommy Richman ain't fire enough to do that yet. Sorry. Now he did clean it up. Joe Budden conceded. Thank you, DJ Ed. Thank you, Tommy Richman, for not sounding as stupid as we thought you were about to sound. However, Ice posited that Richman's true issue was with media publications labeling him a hip-hop artist, which is fair and a valid theory. Melissa Ford countered that Richman's team should have been cognizant of how a statement like, I'm not a hip-hop artist, would resonate with the culture. Then Joe Budden said that the conversation is deeper than the Coyote artist might have thought. And that's factual. Sometimes we say some bullshit without thinking of shit. Let's keep it a book. We do. It happens. I'm not going to say that it doesn't, but, bro, we got to be cognizant of shit. I personally don't think Tommy Richman meant any harm from some of the comments you've said, but he shouldn't have just said that, bro. It could be worded better at the end of the day. It always could be worded better, but yeah. That's really all I got to say about the topic. What do you think? Comments down below, links in the description. Besides that, it's your friendly neighborhood K.A. signing off for today. The Black TJ Deadweiler doing his thing. My name ring bells like Quasimodo. Hit like, subscribe. You're trying to hit a little bit more, you heard me? And I'm gone. Slam Zoom, peace, y'all. Gang. Aye.